Awaken to hair growth. Awaken to hair growth because there is possibility to get your hair back. Awaken to hair growth because we're not told that we're able to conquer and overcome alopecia. Awaken to hair growth because I want to be a positive light and beacon for you because I've healed my alopecia and now I help others do the same with different types of alopecia, men, women, children of all ages, of all races and ethnicities. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Alopecia Angel podcast. I am your host, Johanna Dahlman, and today we're going to be talking about how your self-worth is tied to healing your hair loss. But before we do, I want to make a couple announcements. First and foremost, this week, Thursday, we start our 3-part series of our free training, How to Heal and Reverse Your Hair Loss in 4 Easy Steps. Now, really, I'm going to give you 6 steps because I always give you bonus material. So if you don't know, if you haven't heard, go ahead and sign up. If you need help signing up, if you need a link to sign up, go ahead and email us, hello@alopeciaangel.com, and we'll get you all set up and squared away. That starts this Thursday, September 5th. I'm really excited to do this for you because I love giving free stuff. I love giving away the free training. I have free PDFs on my homepage where you can download for free as well and consume, because again, a lot of this is based on my research, but then also on facts. And of course, will help you grab that edge towards healing. And so that's what's going on this week. And of course, the free training will continue on next week, next Tuesday, and next Thursday. So if you have any questions, again, feel free to reach out to us. You can contact me on Instagram or on Facebook, and we'll be more than happy to help. So today's topic, how your self-worth is connected to your healing of your hair loss and your healing process and potentially even your healing journey in general. What does this look like? And how is this tied together? So if we were going to look at your self-worth, let's go ahead and define that real quick. Your self-worth is the internal sense of being good enough and worthy of healing, worthy of love, worthy of belonging, worthy of XYZ, whether it's a promotion, whether it's children, whether it's anything else that you want. In this case, healing your hair loss. That is self-worth. It's the internal sense of being good enough for it. Self-worth is often confused with self-esteem, which relies on external factors such as successes and achievements to define worth and can often be inconsistent, leading to someone struggling with feeling unworthy. And why do I say that your healing is tied to your self-esteem? Well, I will say that anything in regards to health, in my opinion, is really correlated to this sense of self-worth. Because if you think about it, getting to that next level of health, healing your hair loss, and going the extra mile does require time, does require effort, does require investment, does require extras that you may have to do. Just like getting a master's degree. When I got my master's degree, it wasn't just tuition, which was already big. It was school supplies. It was the books. It was graduation, the cap and gown. It was the traveling. It was the study abroad that I did in India through my master's program. It was all these things that they're the extras. But if you're going to do it, you might as well do it right the first time and you go all in. I can't say this enough, how going all in is so crucial to your success. It really is, because dipping your toe and just like, let's see if this works, will never work. That mindset will never work. That mode of operation will never work, will never lead you to success. You have to go all in. So for example, I have a friend who is going through the desire of having another child. And she is in her 40s. And so after speaking and consulting with a bunch of experts, she decided that IVF is not the route that she wants. IVF, like a lot of things, it has a very, very low success rate. And due to everything that she's evaluated, she's decided to do acupuncture, which last week's episode was on acupuncture. And so she decided to do that. But it's not just doing the acupuncture for her fertility. These are weekly appointments, plus all the supplements, plus all these gadgets and gizmos. There's always these extras. But you know what? She's very determined. She's very decided. And she said to me, you know what? I'm going to go all in. If there's one route that I'm going to do, I'm going to go all in into this. And I was like, that's great. Fantastic. And so the thing is, when you choose to do something, go all in. And maybe with children, we look back, and I was actually looking back at some of my kid pictures of when I was in first grade and second grade and third grade, just in elementary school. I was looking back at these pictures the other day because my mom had sent them to me and to show my son, because he's already in school and he wanted to see pictures of me in school as well. And she sent me one that brought a smile to my face. And it's me in first grade standing up at a podium in front of the whole school, and I'm running for student government. Student government was open from children from first grade all the way to eighth grade in this school, in this elementary school that I went to. First grade was my first year at this school, and I ran for student government. It sounded so great to me. And so she has this picture of me at the podium, saying my speech and everything. I remember teachers telling me the next day, Johanna, your speech was so great, da, 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 da. And, if you have that gumption, if you have that yearn and desire, go for it, but go all in. And what I would say is that if you don't go all in, you're never going to know what truly lies on the other side of that possibility. And more to that is that you have one life, whether it's healing your hair loss, whether it's getting that promotion, getting your master's degree, going for fertility treatments, or anything else. Don't settle. Don't be left with that regret of like, oh, I did it this way to save money. I did it this way. And it's like a mediocre 50% type of method. Like, go all in, invest in yourself, because it's so worth it. The other day I was at the library and I was talking to the librarian, who she and I, we've become very friendly because I go to the library quite often. And she's looking to do her master's program. And she said, I'm going to do it online because the employer, the library where she works at, will cover for it. But she's like, I'm going to miss the aspect of doing it in person or going to the school of my choice. And I was like, well, what would that look like if you had the opportunity to go to the school of your choice, to live on campus or, close to school, to, meet and greet and create that network of friends? She's studying library sciences, and to do maybe any trips or any excursions that they have, or study abroad options or anything else. And she's like, it would be wonderful. I'd love to do it. And I was like, well, then why don't you? She's like, well, money, I still have debt from my bachelor's degree. But I was like, you know what? You have one life, and you don't want to regret not doing your master's degree the way you want it just because of your employer is paying for it. They're paying for it, but it's also forcing you to work. At the same time, it's also putting you in another contract for 5 years. It also has limitations. And so she started thinking about that. She's like, you know what? You're right. She's like, thank you for the encouragement, because at the end of the day, this is your life. Do it your way. If you want to heal, if you want XYZ, again, that promotion, the master's degree, the baby, or the house, or anything else, like, go all in, go all in and go for the gold. You know what I mean? Olympians don't go to the Olympics striving for bronze. They don't do that. They strive for the gold. That's huge if you start thinking about it, because their mindset is already at a higher level. Now, granted, if they miss the gold and they get the silver or they get the bronze, fantastic achievement, But at the same time, they're not going into it thinking, oh, I'm just going to get a certificate that I was there, or I'm not just going to get a picture and not be on the podium. No, 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 no. They are looking for that podium. In the same way, I will say that I also had that mindset of healing my hair loss with the intent of going for the gold, with the intent of getting my hair back. I will say that I think that mindset is crucial to your healing, to the process, to the journey, because everyone's journey is going to be looking different. Everyone's journey is different. So whether that takes you, 4 weeks to start to see the hair growth, or 8 weeks, or maybe it's 6 months, or whatever it is, it's your own healing journey. And granted, you can go at your own pace, but I would say still go all in. Don't settle. I think settling is what creates regret. Settling is what creates remorse. Settling is what creates unhappiness. It really does. That's one of the core things that I see is like, should've, would've, could've. Those are 3 words that any psychologist will tell you that we shouldn't be using on others or even on ourselves, right? And so make your decisions and then be okay with it. Be at peace with it, and understand that whatever decision you make right now will have an impact on the rest of your life. So for example, me healing over 4 years, yes, has impacted me in a good way. Also, it was tumultuous during those 4 years, but at the same time, at the other side of healing, at the other side of finally having my hair and finally being over 9 years alopecia free, it's been huge. So huge, so huge. And I can't express that enough. It's been just such a huge blessing. But at the same time, not to say that I didn't work for it, not to say that I didn't go all in. I wasn't dipping my toe. I wasn't trying to get a little taster test of what this looks like. No, 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 no. You tell me and I'll do it. You say jump and I'll ask you how high or how long or how much. I'm always going to that extra mile for whatever it is that I want. When it came to the hair loss, that was very, very crucial to me. And I'll say, and I'll be really honest and frank, that those closest to me, family and friends, would say, well, why are you spending on that? Why are you investing in that? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Isn't this enough? No, sometimes you need to go a little extra. Sometimes you need to go the extra mile. And I will say that extra mile is tough, but that's where greatness comes in. Again, it's a challenge. It is a challenge, but it's definitely possible. And once you're on the other side of that healing hair loss, like I am, I got to tell you, there's no regrets. There's no regrets. I've healed. I've kept my hair. It grows at an inch each month consistently. And I don't know too many people who can say that in their 40s. I don't know too many people who can say all these things, except, of course, for those who are doing the Hair and Heal program, who are my students, who understand what it takes, who understand the methodology, who understand the step-by-step process, who understand that implementation is key. You can't just learn from the sidelines. You have to be in the game. You have to be inside the game, on the field, playing, active participant. You can't just be on the sidelines watching the movie. This is your life. And when it comes to the hair loss, your self-worth is connected by means of you thinking whether you are worthy enough. Are you worthy of the investment? Are you worthy of the extra mile? Are you worthy of XYZ? And only you can answer that for yourself. I know you are worthy. I know everyone who is going through anything, any problem, any situation, any health scare, any concern that they may have, whether, again, it's the lack of promotions, the lack of education, or, family, as in growing your family, or as in hair loss. You're all worth it. All of you are worthy of what you want. All of you are worthy of all your hopes, dreams, and desires. You just got to grab it. You just got to go for it, and go for it with heart and soul. Go for it with all your might. Go for it in full faith. Go for it in complete action, consistent action. What I love doing many times is reading biographies. I love reading biographies. I've always been attracted to history, historians, people of great achievements. And, we in society today, we call them the GOATs, right? GOAT, greatest of all time. There's a lot of quote unquote greatest of all times, depending on who you talk to. But what I see from them, what I understand from them, and granted, this can go into any industry, whether it's business, whether it's sports, whether it's football, whether it's comedy, you name the industry, there's a quote unquote greatest of all time. And what I've noticed is that all of these people have gone the extra mile. All of these people have been relentless. All of these people, men, women, children, any age, race, ethnicity, they've all been steady with the progress, and they keep going. I think that's another key piece of this, is to keep going. Okay, yeah, sure. The other 1001 things that you've tried in the past didn't work out. But what's to say that this next thing will or won't work out? You know what I mean? Sometimes we make decisions based on our past when we shouldn't allow our past to make those decisions for our future, unless we want our future to look like our past. Does that make sense? Many times we have to keep going. We have to keep doing. We have to keep being consistent. This can, again, go in any industry, from running track to playing basketball to comedy to business to anything else that you want to do and achieve. The greatest of all times, if you start looking at these special people, because they are special if they're in the history books, right, is that they've gone the extra mile. They were relentless. They kept going, kept going. This is what's needed, because once you give up, you're giving up on yourself. You're giving up on your hopes and dreams. You're giving up on the life that you want. You can have your hair. You can have your health. You can have anything and everything you want. Now, it may not look like how you expect it to come out. It may not look like or be in a pretty package with a big, aquamarine teal colored bow, but it can happen. And it may happen in a different way with a different route. But lo and behold, it can happen for you. And so this is what I want to bring up in today's podcast episode, because I think many times we are disillusioned with things we've done in the past. And I understand that. I mean, someone who's been there with the hair loss, someone who lost over 50% of her hair, someone who took 4 years to finally see a little bit of hair growth. Like, I get this. I'm impatient as well. I'm impatient just like you are. I want the hair growth now. I want my health now. I will say, for those of you who think you're healthy, even though you have hair loss, think again, because you're not. You're not healthy if you have hair loss, point blank. Now, going back to self-worth and going back to your hair growth journey, is that a different way of doing things, a different mindset is needed. This is what I'm going to be teaching you in the training that starts this week on Thursday. So I hope you join me. But I wanted to leave you with a couple things of how you can start to value yourself within these 7 tips. And the first one is to remove the contingencies, because we often create standards or conditions that determine when we can be ourselves, when we can love ourselves, when we can give ourselves the worth and the respect that we deserve. So for example, when this, then that. So when I win the lottery, then I will start taking care of my health. When I graduate from, my master's degree, then I will do XYZ. So these contingencies that we place on ourselves are hindering us. They're holding us back, because again, we can have what we want right now. What's to say that you can't go for the promotion, get your master's, and get healing your hair loss all at the same time? What's to say that you can't heal your hair loss, breastfeed your child, and, get your health on the right track, as I've seen with other clients in the Hair and Heal program, which you can hear on previous podcasts? What's to say that you can't go to school for your child, or your child goes to school, heal their hair loss, and, run for student government or become more extroverted as the year goes on? What's to say that you can't heal your hair loss, get pregnant, and then, grow your family all at the same time? So removing those contingencies is really just holding you back from what you want. If you want things now, you want to heal your hair loss, you want to get the promotion, you want to go on vacation, you want to do this, you want to travel abroad, you want to do XYZ, get married with the love of your life, you can do it all. You can have it all. Remove those contingencies and do it all right now. You can. Number 2, forgive yourself. Humans make mistakes. This may go in line with the feeling of failure, because I know from speaking to all my clients within the Hair and Heal program is that by the time they come to me, they've tried a gazillion things, whether it's PRP or acupuncture, or whether they've tried the hair, skin, nails, the Nutrafols, the specialty shampoos and serums, sprays, etc. You name it, they've tried it. I get it, because I've been there too. But don't look at those things as failures. Look at those things as learning lessons. Look at those things as not a mistake, or not something that I spent so much money on this laser cap and it didn't work. Well, okay, I get it. But now laser caps don't work. I also have a PDF of things that don't work on my homepage, so you can also look through that. So it's these things that it's not about feeling bad or being down on ourselves, but it's also about seeing, okay, this doesn't work, this doesn't work, this doesn't work. Okay, so then let's try this, because it's not any of that. Does that make sense? And it's also getting you closer to the finish line. And so actually failure feeds into our success and crossing that finish line. It really does. And so if you look at it that way, then you start to see that these past learning lessons, these past mistakes, or these past situations only bring us to where we are today, only bring us to that next step, that next level, that next action that we need to take. Number 3, drop the comparison. This is huge for women, especially. Drop the comparison, because comparing ourselves, yourself, your child, to other children with alopecia, to other people with alopecia, with your same type of alopecia, with your same diagnosis, with your same this, that, it's never the same. It's never the same. It never really is. I was on a coaching call yesterday with all my clients, and I'll tell you that they can have all the same hair loss. For example, let's say it's alopecia areata, or it could be alopecia totalis, or female pattern baldness, or traction alopecia, or it could be scarring alopecia, what have you. It doesn't matter. They could all have the same alopecia, but the causes, the root causes, the issues, the challenges will all look different. What's easy for me might be hard for you. What's hard for you might be easy for me, and vice versa. So it will all look different. You can't compare yourself. And I think in one way, I didn't have anyone to compare myself to. And I've never been that type. I've never been that type to compare myself to anybody, because I know I'm always doing my own race. I'm always doing other things. And I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses. And I do know I'm very disciplined. If I want something, I get it done and I get it achieved and accomplished. That's one thing I know about myself. And so the thing is, you also got to know yourself too, but understand that your strengths and your weaknesses can only be used to your benefit. Right? And so your situation is not going to be the same as anyone else's, even if you guys are twins. Let's say you have a twin brother or a twin sister, that both of you twins are on this alopecia journey and both of you have the same diagnosis. Well, it's going to look different. And I'm telling you, because I've dealt with families with multiple siblings, not twins per se, but multiple siblings with alopecia. And their root causes are a little different. Even though they have the same mom and dad, even though they live in the same household, it's always going to be a little different. Even if, again, like I said, your twin also has it. Number 4, get outside your comfort zone. This is huge. I mean, do you think that Olympians, that people, those GOATs that I mentioned, the greatest of all times, were just sitting on the couch, Netflixing and just trying to, mull things over and trying to, think that things were going to be okay and figure themselves out little by little, or they can put things off? When you have a sense of urgency, which I know you do because you have that hair loss, and it's absolutely puts you in this situation where you want answers and you want results right now, you need to get outside your comfort zone to achieve those results. You need to get outside your comfort zone of what is, your norm, so that you can get to those results. I actually saw Tom Brady speak online, and he was saying, I've always made difficult choices. While my friends or teammates or classmates were sleeping in, I was up at 5 a.m. working out. When my teammates or classmates were doing XYZ, I was ahead of the game, staying later and doing more. And so the thing is, you have to get outside your comfort zone, even when you don't want to. This is how you become amazing. And this is how you achieve your results and achieve your hair growth. Getting outside your comfort zone is absolutely necessary. Number 5, challenge your negative thoughts. And so on the flip side to this, getting outside your comfort zone is already uncomfortable, right? Are you with me? So then the next step, challenging your negative thoughts are going to say, oh no, don't do this. How about you stay in? How about you sleep in? Oh no, don't work out today. Oh no, don't do this today. Oh no, forget that. That's too much money. Oh no, forget that. That's not worth it. It's not going to work. It's just like everything else. All these negative thoughts are keeping you stuck. I can't say it any other way. It's just keeping you stuck. Negative thoughts keep you stuck. I will say that sometimes those around us want to keep us stuck too. Unintentionally, they don't mean it, but their words hinder us. So, for example, when I was going through my alopecia treatment, my 4 years of trying to figure this out, I should say, I had people saying, oh, why are you doing that? Oh, you've spent enough on that. Or you've spent, enough time and money and resources on this, this, and that. Isn't it enough? When is it going to be enough, Johanna? I would tell them, look, and I would block out their negative critiques, so much so where I just cut them off. And the thing is, sometimes you do have to create boundaries from the negativity, from the critics, from the critiques, because to me, it's never enough until I get what I want. It's never enough until I got my hair. It's never enough until I upgraded my health. It's never enough until I maintained my hair growth at a certain rate, until I've become my best, until I continue to be my best. You have to continue to do more for what you want. You really do. It's just like going to the gym. You can't go to the gym once a week and think that's enough. You can't go to the gym once a week and think that, assuming you're, let's say, 35 years old plus, that's enough. And I only say this because biologically speaking, people above the age of 35, 40 is when we start to lose muscle mass at a speedier rate. So it takes us longer to create the muscle mass that we could have done when we were 18 or 20 versus now at 35, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Does that make sense? So every 3 days we are losing muscle mass, which means that if we were going to go to the gym and lift weights once a week, it doesn't cut it, because now we're already losing 2 to 3 times more muscle mass per week and not moving the needle in terms of maintaining or even creating more muscle mass. So does that make sense when it comes to challenging negative thoughts? You really need to cut it at the head and put that to the side, even if it comes from loved ones and friends, because the negativity is only going to keep you stuck, keep you doubting yourself, keep you from reaching your goals. And I will say that when I've always gave myself lofty goals, my mom, and I love my mom, but she's also been my biggest critic. And, she would say to me, or maybe not even say anything, but she would look at me a certain way, or she would have a certain, emotion on her face where I could read it. And I knew what she was trying to convey. I knew what she was trying to tell me. And I always saw that as a challenge. And I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for it because it made me force myself to rise up to the challenge. Alopecia in many ways, hair loss in many ways, is a challenge. It's a challenge for everybody. It's a challenge for those who are new to it. It's a challenge for those who've been dealing with it for over 5 months, 5 years. I know it's a challenge, and it's teaching us to rise up. It's teaching us to get to the heart of it. It's teaching us to go all in, because again, dipping your toe in, dabbling is not going to help. It's not going to help. It's not going to help at all. It's only going to muddy the situation even more. And the last thing I would say is embrace who you are. What I mean by that is embrace you with all your qualities, with all your strengths, with all your weaknesses, and focus on the positive. Embrace who you are. And you are not your hair loss. You are not your alopecia. You are not your diagnosis. You are not your anxiety. You are not your depression. You are not anything you don't want to be. That's where we need to come back to the foundational of who we are, what we're worth, and focus on that path. What is it that you want? You want the hair growth? Let's do it. You want the master's? Go for it. You want the promotion? It's yours. Maybe not in the company you want, maybe not in the department you want, maybe not with that same boss, but it's definitely possible. It's possible for everybody. You want that family, you want that extra child, you want to grow, you want to learn, you want to do, explore, etc. You can do it. You can do it all. But embrace those strengths, take action, and keep going. And keep going and don't settle. Keep going and do not settle. Because by the time you're at a certain age, you're going to look back and you'll be like, did I regret that? Should I have done more? Could I have done more? Would I have done more? At the end of the day, that's who you will be responding to, is to yourself, not to your loved ones, not to your mom, not to your partners, not to your children. It's to you. You're going to be looking at yourself in the mirror saying, I could have done more. I should have done more. I would have done more. And I got to say, when you want something, when those goats, when those greatest of all times want something, they don't give themselves excuses, whether it's time, effort, money, investing this or that. They don't give themselves excuses. They just go for it and they figure it out. They figure out a way. That's what I did. I figured out a way, even living off of my savings, even not having a job, even in transition, having just met my fiance at the time, boyfriend, fiance, now husband type of situation, moving abroad without anything. No job, no nothing, no furniture, no nothing, just like going. And I figured it out. I know with guidance, with a step-by-step process, you can figure it out too. And not just that, but in less time, with the support, with the community. And that's how and why Alopecia Angel was created, because I want you to heal sooner than I did. I don't want you to take 4 years. I don't want you to do it yourself. I don't want you to try to figure this out on your own. There's no need to do this on your own. You can do this in less time. You can do this and have answers in your back pocket and be like, okay, this is step 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, where am I? I'm in step 3. I need to get to step 4. Let's do it. Boom. So I hope you will join me for the training that starts Thursday, September 5th. And I look forward. I will be going live and I will see you there. If you have any questions, concerns, email us again. hello@alopeciaangel.com. We are here to serve and support you. And thank you so much for your time. You are worth it. Every bit of it. You are worth it. Take care. Thank you for listening to the Alopecia Angel podcast, a positive light in healing alopecia. You can do this and we can help. Spread the word that reversing alopecia is possible by telling your friends and family.